tutorial with me, your host WolfgangVonPrinz. In this tutorial, I think this is going to be the last one before you can actually make a genuinely good game. Obviously, you won't have some scripts and some compatibility before you can make an FPS or something like that. You don't know how to code guns. Guns are very complex. Even I struggle with really good guns. Yeah, so I'm going to teach you how to run through a table, or IV, using IV in pairs. Right. So first off, just make a table. We call it test. If you don't know how to make a table, watch my last tutorials. If you haven't watched them already, go back and watch them. They're really quick and fun. I'm singing even some of them. So if we just write some values in, just numerical values for the time being. Alright. And so let's say we want to print everything out in here. Well, you'd think we know that we can do this by going like this, and then just copying and pasting this in. But there's sort of a rule amongst scriptures called don't repeat yourself or dry. And this is repeating yourself, but doing it for different values. But this works. It's not too inefficient just yet. However, if you want to run through it, you write for, so it's a for loop. We haven't taught you about those yet. For IV in pairs, do. Okay. And this is the syntax used to run through a table. You write the table name in brackets here. Alright. So I is index, and V is the variable. So if you go print I, okay. So this goes up by 1 each time. So imagine this is like, so if I get all those prints back. So imagine the I here being all of these. So this is I1, that replaces that, replaces that, replaces that. So, and if I got it to print V, so the variable, or what, so the variable which you wanted to print out, it'll just print out everything in the box. As you can see here. So, I have got the print here. I've got the index number I want to print out here, so that's the value in the table, and that goes up by 1, and the table is referenced here. Alright, so you should be able to understand that, but if you don't, I can go over it one more time. So the I here is 1, and then after it's gone through the loop again, it'll be 2, and then if it go through the loop again, it'll be 3, and then it'll be 4. I'm not really sure how else I can articulate on it. So I'll show you a really cool thing to do with that. If you just get rid of all this. Now, do you remember in the first tutorial I taught you about parents, where you go up 1? I also taught you about children, where you go down 1. Well, we're going to learn about how to use children. That sounds terrible, didn't it? So if you just make, a grid of these, you will we're going to get them to all change colour via 3 lines of code. Right, so you group them together in the model. You put the script in the model. And so if we write model equal script parent. Okay. So that's got the model. But if we want to make a read-only table of all of these, so a table that you can read off, of all the children, you write get children. And if I just change the name so you can see it when I print it out. Alright, you'll get the idea. I'll print this. Table expected. I forgot to write model in here. Alright. So it prints out the children. This goes part. I wonder why it's organized like that. That's just fantastic. Great. Whatever. You get the idea. So it just cycles through all of these, and it lists them. Usually lists them in chronological. So yeah, it does list them in chronological order, apart from the script, which goes at the bottom because it's a script. But for some reason, it's just rearranged them in the model. But you know, that's fine. It doesn't really affect what we're doing. So that just prints out, and now, so v is a variable. So these are, at one stage, these all become v. So if I write v dot transparency, this is just like writing workspace dot model dot part dot transparency for all the parts. Okay. And so we can just go equals 0.5, and that should make. There we go. That worked. So let's just go over IV in pairs and get children again. So for IV in pairs, we'll loop over everything in a table. So if I just make a table. Okay. So the I is the number of values. So this is value 1, this is value 2, this is value 3, and that's value 4, and that's value 5. Okay. So each time this goes over the loop, I increases by 1, and it'll get that number, the corresponding number of its value out of the table. So if we've been over the loop twice, I will get the value of 3, and then pull out the third value in the table. Okay. V is the variable. You can actually change this. It's just IV is I for index and V for variable, but you can change it to X, Y, and it still works fine. Oh no, maybe it does have to be I. Okay, so ignore that. So I think that's going to be all I've got for you for this tutorial. I'll leave a link in the description to some API pages, and in today's cookbook, I'm going to be doing a pathfinding service because I find that really interesting. Alright, see you next time.